As you know, we are back on here, 13 minutes in, and it was soon as I about to come online, there was a Brazil goal, but the referee called for offside play as well. I think it was Rafinha was the one that put the ball in the back of the net. But nevertheless, we're here at this moment, ready to look at this. I have remember these two played in a Copa America vividly as well. Brazil scored around 6 goals, I think, on the day, something like that. 6, 7. A few players. Luckily, they, at that time, was in that Brazil team in 2016. I think that's the Copa America Centenario. Yeah. A few players would have in that squad as well play the Haitian team as well. So they will be much likely, to understand what this Haiti team can bring, to the party as well. But yeah, I think it's a very bright show from both teams. Haiti at this moment don't really look as if they're scared they're going to come and play their football. Yeah, they're going to come and play their football. I think you will expect Haiti, to come and play the A game, but maybe it's not going to be good enough because if you look at the quality of players, established players playing at a very good level as well, elite level for Brazil, you want to say maybe there's going to be that extra bit of quality that will be needed, in this game. But I like the way I see Brazil is pressing very high, being aggressive. They started the game really bright. I remember that game was last week as well, where Brazil never really started that game really well, versus the Moroccan team. Moroccan team started out that game very well, control the bits of right up to the first hydration break. But this Brazil team seems like they're on a mission. They need to get off the mark in terms of a double in the corner as well. I think there's just 2 changes to the squad. I think Danilo is in for the right back that playing in the Saudi Pro League. I can't remember his name at this moment. And also Cunha will comes in as well for Thiago. Yeah, Thiago is out on the bench. So yeah, those would have been the two changes to the squad. But let's see how this team will react. I think they're reacting very well to that 1-1 draw versus Morocco. They're very threatening the Asian team as well. But let's see what the Asian team will do whenever they get on the ball, and you could see clearly what is their intentions are as well. Play their style of way, play with swagger, play with pace, running behind, created opportunities as well. But let's see how long this Haitian team can withstand all this pressure is coming from the Brazilian team. This is a huge game, huge game for the Haitian players as well. The Brazil national team is that national team that you play at international level. These are the teams that you want to play against in these big moments. So they will be happy with this result as though it stand at this moment, and they will happy with this and it's Vinicius. And it's couldn't get down. So they will be happy with these games in the World Cup. So as we said, let's see how this game will ride out. How long can the Brazilian keep up this intensity and this pressure of knocking on the Haitian doors of getting the first goal of the game, or if the Asian team will make any real breakthrough against all the odds and against all the pressure that this Brazilian team is really taking the game towards as well. So Vinicius looked brightly. Rafinha looked a much more better player. Not really seen much of Cunha as yet. The midfield kind of look okay for now until the Haitians get on the ball. You will see if they're up to the test, if they will be a liability off the ball. But Yeah, so much take away from this. And you could see, if the Haitian lose this game, they were well out of the World Cup with a loss. So they would always want to go into that final group stage game with something to play for. Get what I'm saying? Something to play for into that last final game. But it will be a good test, tonight versus the Brazilian team. You could see they're on the ball at this moment. They're playing their game. They're not backing down. They're trying to play attacking football. They're trying to run at this Brazil team. They're trying to pass it as the Asian is in the Brazilian box at this moment, and it's just over it from Providence, just over it towards that player on that left hand side, Providence, and the referee called for, what was he called for? Was it an offside? Yeah, he was offside. Yeah, the Haitian player, crossing the ball in the box, looking for Providence at the back post. Clearly, he was offside, and the linesman hold up his flag. First Caribbean nation to compete in multiple FIFA World Cups. So Haiti is living largely, glamorously, at this moment. The first Caribbean country to be out there in multiple World Cups. So shout out to Jamaica and shout out to Trinidad, the other two teams that made it out of the group, made it out of the region as well. Trinidad was in 2006 in Germany. I think they faced England, in that group stage, and the Reggae Boys will be two cycle behind that. That will be in 1998 as well, with the likes of um, Argentina and Japan and teams like that. I think Croatia was in the group. Yeah, so Vinicius looking brightly as well. And there's a few players I could see, Douglas Santos. Yeah, Douglas Santos was a very good youngster in that Brazil team that faced the Haitian team in the Copa America around 10 years ago. Copa America Centenario in the US, that was played in the US as well. I think Chile beat Argentina in the final as well. He was on penalty shootout as well. Allison, young goalkeeper at that time. I think that was his last campaign at international. He would have been in that team as well. Young Casimiro would have been in that team as well. Um, which other player in the team at this moment? Neymar wasn't a part. Neymar wasn't included in that team. I think he was injured. Um, can't remember anybody. But there's I think around one more players would have been in that team that's currently in this Brazil team as well. I think Marquinhos is another player would have been in that team, and that's a clear opportunity for the Brazil. And it is Rafinha, and he missed off, and it was offside again from Rafinha. Clear offside again from Rafinha. I think it's coming. I think it's coming, man. It's coming. And it a golazo. Brazil have scored. Finally they break the deadlock as the fans goes nuts in the stadium. The Haitian fans went a little bit quiet, mixed emotional. The Caribbean, have a lot of Brazilian fans, a lot of Argentina fans and stuff like that. So it was Vinicius at the helm of that creation as well, creating that moment. It's like that seems like it's more of a own goal to me. Or did Cunha got the last touch on that? Oh, Cunha got the last touch. Defender played it on Cunha. But I mean, look, I think I think Placide should do much better than that. For a much experienced goalkeeper, I think Placide needs to do better than that. Yeah, I think Placide needs to do better than that. I think he needs to do much better than that. Much, much better. I think the keeper should have done much better. Cannot box that one back right in the 6 yard box like that. You have to par that one, towards the corner somewhere. I mean, look at how happy, looking at that replay where Thiago, looking much even happier than the man who scored the goal, Cunha, who came in for him as well. Cunha's first World Cup goal, coming off after a Vinicius shot towards the goal where Placide palmed that one right in the pathway of Cunha. I think the keeper should have done much better than that. Much better. I even tried to palm it to the corner, one of those posts, but you have to be a little bit more better, of palming that ball back into the dangerous area and again. And if the defender get the first touch, the first touch should have been a much better clearance if he got the first touch, which I think he got the first touch the build up of that goal as well. Yeah, I mean, bless up, bro. Bless up. Brazil, my second team, still have to support Haiti. It's like a mixed emotional. It's like a mixed emotional. So many Caribbean people supporting Haiti at this moment and supporting, the secondary team. Yeah, so you don't know, it would have be a lot of supporting coming Brazil way from the Caribbean, especially in Jamaica and even Haiti as well. I don't really want to single out any nation, but Brazil is a huge, huge supporting country outside of Brazil. You understand? Especially in the Caribbean region, in the African region as well. Some of those countries that don't go to the World Cup, every cycle, they will have massive, massive Brazilian fans there. I know Kenya is a country have massive Brazilian fan. There's another I think Uganda have massive, massive Brazilian fans. So Yeah, could see Brazil trying so many times with that ball over the top. Or they, try to feed the forward line, with that ball, through the spine of the Asian team on the ground as well. So clearly there's an intention, to try to maybe at somewhat catch the Haiti team a bit off guard, but they really yet to really perfect that, to be honest, in the game. That was an offside in Vinicius' favor. And then Haitian turning over the ball again, and Brazil gave it right back to them. Rafinha hustling for it, and it was a free kick. That was a free kick as well. That was a free kick as well. Ooh. Brazil are finding so much space at this moment down Vinicius' left hand side. It seems like just a moment before the Brazilians, score again. The Haitian must put up a stop leak in this, in this game, especially the remaining minutes that left before the first half end. How do you feel about the Ishmael? Yeah, it's just one of them things. When I first see it, I was like, I wasn't really thinking, the player leg broke at that time. But the simplest things, can cause a player leg to be broken in a game just like that. But feel it for him. Feel it for him. Very good player, top player, playing in the Italian Serie A. Really like seeing whenever him and Estacchio, getting in the game for Canada as well. Even in the first game where they drew that game versus Bosnia, he was a very good player in that second half, and I think he will be a big miss. And with Bombat, what's his name, Bombita, and also Alfonso coming to this tournament with fitness issue. The Tigers player, heritage player, just switches allegiance to Canada as well. Would have out as well injured. I know, Ishmael Kone is out injured for the rest of the World Cup cycle. So that would have put some dent in this Canadian squad. So he would be a top player that miss for them. And I think they can replace him, but not with the same quality, to be honest. It's not going to be the same quality. They will be a player that will fill in for him, but what they really can do in that game against any team when Ishmael and Estakia is on top of their game, there's hardly any peer in that squad, can really run the midfield just like both players can do, physicality, can pass the ball. He's very athletic and he's a very good tackler as well. And Estakia is not the most mobile athletic player, in that team, and especially in the midfield area where you need a bit of a physicality and athleticism in the midfield. You need to you'll need someone to come and partner with him that can really complement his game, that will can cover a lot of miles for him and help around while he is doing his best that he can. But he will be a miss, but no fault to anyone, to anyone that really was involved in that incident with Ishmael Coney. As I heard the player, would have went to the dressing room and apologized and stuff like that. But it's a very tough moment, man. The World Cup is playing on home side, and you got injured and you will be out for 4 to 5 months. That's roughly your season right there. For the rest of the year. So more likely to see about Ishmael back in what January 2027 summer right there. Will be back fit and strong, ready to go again. So I hope after he return, he will be somewhat back to his best. A lot of people, players don't really recover, properly in terms of regain back that form, regain back that trust in their body of going back to games. And there's another turnover again from this, and it is a goal. It's a very good goal from Konya. It is a very good goal, from Konya. It's a very good goal from Konya. Very good goal. And he kind of look. Placid thought he was going to hit that ball across, on his left post, but he really shot that one into the corner, the top corner, and a fear for this Haitian team on the day of concede 7 in the Copa America Centenario 10 years ago, and I fear that this can be ugly, as I have so much love, for this Haitian team. I have so much love for this team, especially just looking at how they're playing. This team don't really deserve. What the hell wrong with my TV? My TV went blank. The TV went blank. Dark screen. My fear for this Haitian team is them coming to this game. Crucial game for Brazil. Draw against Morocco wasn't a good show. The Joga Bonita wasn't out, and Brazil will be looking to take their strength out on someone in the next game. And it's so unfortunate that it is Haiti in line. A team that I admire so much. I have so much love for them. Yeah, I have so much love for them. So, Cunha with his second goal in the World Cup. Very good finish from him, man. Placid was trick. Placid was trick. Yeah, Placid was trick, but hopefully Haiti don't concede any more goal before the half finish. Hopefully. But the Brazil team, they're going to play so physical with them. They're going to play so physical with them, because they heard the noise. They heard all the criticism coming their way from that first game. The Morocco team outrun the Brazil team, in every department, on the pitch during that game. They outran the Brazilian team in every department. The midfield, they don't even mention the midfield. The defensive line, the forward line as well, they outran them. And just to see how they really started this game with this level of intensity, the 48th minute. This is what the Brazilian people want to see. It's not the best, and I wouldn't say this is the best as smooth playing Brazil team, hitting the pass on target, playing with tricks and style. Players are running into spaces and channels. It's not the finishing product, but if this is something that they can build on and going into the next game as well, going into the game of playing Scotland, this is a worrying sign for Brazil. It's like Rafinha. This is a worrying sign at this moment for Rafinha. Hopefully, it's not something serious, as Brazil will need him. Yeah, and Ryan is coming on to take his place. So hopefully, it's just a precaution of he just felt something at the time and just decided that I'm not going to stress it. 2-0 up, he would have done a lot of work. And I think he scored a goal, but it was offside as well. But hopefully, it's nothing serious where he will miss probably the next game and save him for the if it's something that he can be back in a week or two. Especially if it's 2 week, it's a long World Cup. They will have players will have time. Whoever get injured in match day 1 or match day 2 will have some time to recover. Yes, it's an expansion. They will have time a week or two. If it's a little strain or it's a little knock, they will have some time to recover from that and get enough treatment so they can be at least back to up to fitness level of competing again for the national team. But don't want to wish any injury on any player, but hopefully it's something where he can really get over in the next week or two. Anything like grade of a tear, muscle hamstring or anything like that, your workup can be done and dusted. Yeah, as less your team goes deep into the tournament where you can recover and ready to play a World Cup final in 4 weeks. 4 weeks, probably around that. Yeah, probably around 4 weeks time. Yeah, see another star player, Neymar, is already battling fitness issue with the Brazilian team. Just slightly recover from that calf injury. A Haitian player is down at this moment. The level of the level of intensity is crazy. These players are running from minute 1 till minute 40. Especially the Brazilian players non-stop, really running non-stop. So hopefully, Casemiro, can run this off, guys. He's a crucial part of this Haitian team as well. As the Haitian fans are looking sadly down on the pitch at this moment. You guys should be proud of yourself, man. You guys should be proud of yourself. Trust me. You guys are far has come a far, far, far way and qualify for this World Cup. Yeah, a lot of these players have never been to the country. The coach have never been to the country. It's around half a decade since the last time this team play, in Haiti as well. I even remember stories, just I don't remember the day itself. I probably watched the game, but I remember stories and talking about how much the Brazil winning 2002 team, the players would have gone to Haiti, to really to play that game, because of the crime and stuff like that, to solve some of the issue and see if they can bring back the country and unite back the people together just by playing national team in Haiti and home side as well. So there's so much stuff around this Haitian team, man. It's just a country that so much history attached to them where you cannot eat them. You cannot eat resilience people that fight when there was no light at the end of the tunnel. They fight until they see a little people of light at the end, until they see that people is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and then But you look at it and they know they become victorious, and they win things against the odds. So that's not a corner. Can that not be a corner kick? As Brazil looking to settling down things at this moment, 6 minutes. Says minutos left back on the clock until the end of this first half. Much needed first half for the Brazilian fans, for the Brazilian players with confidence as well, getting goals, grabbing assists, much needed first half from, this Brazilian team. Carlo Ancelotti will be much pleased of this first half than the opening first half of the first game in Group C versus Morocco. So it's a building block, as much as it might be a project, but Brazilians, yeah, Brazil don't deal with project. The Brazil, you come to coach a national team, you expecting to win, regardless of the status of the coach. Play the ball inside Vinicius. You have to play the ball inside to the player. I've got an easier shot towards the goal. But as someone that really like watch the Brazilian team play as well, I'm not over the top of what I'm really seeing, because the Haitian team don't have that capacity of the Moroccan team. I know how they can hit ceilings, how they can play with quality players on the pitch. Yes, this Haiti team have some quality, but they only can rise to a level of, they cannot go to the next level as the Moroccan team, where they can play. And this is number 3, Vinicius Jr. with his second goal of the World Cup campaign. And it is a much needed goal as well, from Vinicius. Lots of fans talk about how much he don't really perform in tournaments for the Brazilian team. The fans are very much happy at this moment, but it's just getting ugly and ugly for the Asian players on the pitch. You wish, as a fan looking and likes the Haitian team, you wish you could help them in some way regard, but it's just ugly at this moment, man. That the Brazilians are taking out their full strength and the frustration on Vinicius Jr. and Haitian team. And it's a very good pass. It is a very good pass from Paqueta. Someone as well that needed an assist. Someone that's really needed an assist, Paqueta. A very good ball over the top. They've been trying that, from minute 1 up to the goal of Vinicius Jr. But just never really worked. But this time, that little ball over the top, it's like it worked at this moment. Yeah, man. I think the Asian team I think they need a halftime break. I do think they need a halftime break, to be honest. They need a little break. They need a break. They need to get off the pitch, organize, sort themselves out, get out of this emotions of being 3-0 down in the first 45 minutes. Just to relax, have some refreshment, hydrate, hydrate themselves, and that's a very nasty one from Peru. But it's just the on off leaping in the air, always going to be trending behind. Come on, referee, get these Asian players off the pitch. Allow them to recuperate and get back into the dressing room. They need a break. 3-0. Cunha with a brace, Vinicius with the third, the back end of the first half as well. Well, much needed goal from Vinicius with a 2 from 2. Cunha as well, his first brace for the national team is third in 20 plus games. So confidence is riding high at this moment as it is the end of the first half. So I'll be back just as the players very soon as well. So return back in action in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, the Eagles Stadium. So let's see if the Asian team can do better and take some positivity from this second half. We'd have seen two substitution as well. Isidore came on in the game. Peru taken off as well. And Arcos is off. Dominic Simon as well, is on. So, and Rafina would have came off as well just minutes before the final whistle of that first half. So let's see how this one will goes. Much needed performance, need from the Haitian team in the second half. The first half already gone bad. It's something that you cannot get back. It's already in the past. So the future is the second half. Let's see how they will compete in the second half. I think if they can score a goal also in the second half will do good, for these players to come in this World Cup and not to score a goal. It'd be really good to see the Asian team, score a goal in this tournament as well. I think my memory serves me right. Back in 1974, this team would have picked up a huge defeat as well. I'm not sure if it was the Italian game. I can fact check that as well. I think they pick up a 7-1. Yeah, they got 3-1 from Italy, 3-2 from, no, that was 7. Yeah, so they picked up 7 from Poland. Pick up 7 from Poland. That game that played in Munich. And then they lost 4-1 to Argentina. The game played in Munich as well, the Olympic Stadion. 5 minutes in, in the second half, no real sign of urgency as yet from the Brazilians. Looking to knock around pass 80 now with 6 players trying to high press this Brazil team deep in their half as well. The ball over the top is like something that's always going to be on. The Haiti team is not playing with a low block, but it's a mid low block as well with a bit of a high line. The defense line is pressing up on the midfielders as well, so there will be no real gap between the defensive line and the midfield line, and that's why the ball over the top is always on from the Brazilian. They always pumping players forward as well, and you can see a very diagonal switch experience. And it's that one flew over his head. Oh, Mama Mia. Isidore. Mama Mia. Haitian team looking. Where is it? Where is Haiti 11? I tell you, he's not good from the last game. Yo, yeah, forward back again. I don't know. I don't know. Let's never really thought of him. There was three changes to the Yeti team as well. He's on the bench. Luisius. Yeah, he's on the bench. You know, forward back again. They're crazy talking about the Haitian number 11. I mean, maybe look, maybe the coach just never what the hell is that? Yeah. So maybe the coach never really wanted him in the starting level. Like Isidore is a top player for them, and he found himself on the bench. The coach went with someone different. So I think it's down to game plan and whatsoever. But I do get where you're coming from. I was expecting to see him as well, but I mean he's a very decent player for them. He's been a very decent player for them even through the qualification round. So he has very been a very decent little player for them. But to what level you're judging the player from standpoint? To what level? Like I know we're having a conversation about with Leon Bailey and stuff like that. Him good against little teams, but I bully that. Well, at least him good against somebody. That's the thing. At least he's good against someone. You get what I'm saying? But I would love to see him in this game. He's a pretty decent player for the Asian team. I don't know much but about him, playing for club teams as well. I think he's in the MLS. I don't really know much about him playing for his MLS team, to be honest. But I always see him, as a player. Like every time when I watch the Asian team, playing in the qualifiers. I watch all their games in the qualifiers, all their games. And have been a very good player for them, through the qualification. And it was in a tough zone with Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Honduras. And he turned up against them. And those teams like Honduras and Costa Rica arguably was the favorite to get out of that zone more than even the Asian team. So, but to rank him as that player up in at that level, I've never really seen him as that player, to be honest. But I'm just looking on behalf of Haiti itself and what he have done and what he have achieved and helped the team and whatever, whatever. I've always seen him a very decent player for them. But I've never really said that the player is a world class player of Haiti, but he has been a very good player of them. Very good. He's one of their player, but again, you're telling me that a player coming in as well, Isidore, he's not good enough because he was on the bench. Yes, I have different plans. Hendrick is a much better number 9 in the Brazil team in recent times than Igor Thiago. And Ancelotti decided to go with Thiago in the opening game. But we all know and see that Hendrick is a much better player in the Brazilian shirt than Thiago. More suitable fit the criteria of the role of wearing the Brazil number 9 shirt. And as soon as I said that, the camera flashed on R9. But I watched, Luis just score time and time for the Haitian team in the qualification run. He have scored some goals. Pretty much sure he scored over 3 goals. He scored in some crucial game as well. Oh, almost. The Brazilian team is ramping up the attacking plays at this moment, where that was a very good chance created by Vinicius, but the number 9 wasn't close enough to get his foot on that. Okay, if the Haitian could defend, I just think it's just too overwhelming at this moment, for them. I mean, their weakest department will be the defensive line, as of course, but it's just overwhelmed at this moment. So many runners in front of them. It's just hard to contain, to be honest. But I think they could do a much better job with some of the goals that scored. But the pace, though, the pace and the balls, over the top is killing them. They're not, especially when they're not really playing with a very low block. It's like a mid block. The defensive line is coming up close as possible to the midfield third, and they're not the quickest, especially the right hand side. It's not the quickest. Where I think on that side is Ricardo Ade, if that's his name. That was a simple pass. That was a simple pass from Cunha to me to Vinicius. Eva Paqueta as well, playing that ball towards, I think it was Danilo was on the overlap. Was it Danilo? One of those players was on the overlap. I don't like the start of this Brazil team in the second half. I don't know if it's comfort or what, but are complacent. But it's not been good. It's not been good. It wasn't even up to 80% good in that first half. Did they just score some goals? errors from the defensive line and the goalkeeper. And then they came in the second half, started out the last 50 minutes. It's not good. They're not pinging the passes together. They're not pressing aggressively anymore, as it would have been fucking very difficult to contain all that high pressing from minute 1 to minute 45 and to continue that in the second half. But again, you must show some attitude of wearing that Celesao jersey. And Belgrade drive right into the box of the Brazilian, trying to create something for his teammate. Yeah, and someone said, guys about them too comfortable. Yo, see a ball here, come on here now. See the see the big ball here, come on. Yo, Jamaican boy, see the big ball here, come on here now. That. Luicius. We'll see what. We're having them foot them versus the Brazilian team. Very good save and a very good clear off the line as well by the Brazilian, and the Haitian almost got one back. Use that Ricardo Ade. That's a very good save from Becca. And whoever was on that back post for the Brazilian, that's a very good clear as well off the line. That's a very good leap over Marquinhos, Ricardo Ade as well. That ball want to be a little bit more up in the top corner of the goal. That would have scored. And who was on the back post? Was Danilo as well, with the size 12 in the ball. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, Ricardo Ade. You never get that goal. That'd be much well-deserved goal from a legend. Martinelli. I don't know what Carlo Ancelotti seeing some of these players, but look, let's see what's going to happen, no? Let's see what's going to happen. The big man is on the pitch. Hendrick. Much needed minutes for the young sensation. Let's see if we can see the spin barrel come off of Hendrick waist tonight. The rifleman. That's a foul. As it should be. That's a foul. That's an easy though. That's a foul on the man. That's a foul over the top, Douglas Santos. Tietzen Luicius. Oof, that was an opportunity. That was a bit a half moment for the Haitian team. Ref. Let's see if the changes player like Hendrick Martinelli can bring a bit of inject some pace in the game, because this has not been good for Brazil in the second half. I don't know what I'm really watching from Brazil. It's not been good. To the first half what the Asian had, I think this is a much better performance, from the Asian team in the second half. And things like that, is a bit of positives they can take from the game. How you bounce back and how you react after a bad performance in the first half. Vinicius has been poor in this second half. Poor. This Brazil team going to need a lot of help if they're going to capture this World Cup. Miracle going to have to be on them side. Miracle. Someone is going to have to step up big for this Brazil team. Oh, whoa, what a kick from Martinelli. Oh, offside. As we are going into, what's this, hydration break time? That's very close. That's very close. It's not has been a good half. See how the stats roll out for Brazil. Have 60% of the ball, 80-40 expected goal XGs, 1.21, 0.22. 6 shot for the Brazil team towards the goal. 5 went on target. Only 1 on target out of the 4 for the Haitian team as well. 9 times touches the ball in the box for 80, 16 times for the Brazilian team. I expect probably should have been even more, if you ask me. No real big chances created for Haiti as well, not yet. They got a fair decent amount of passes so far. Two accurate passes, 240. That's very good. That tells you that they have possession in the game. 387 passes for the Brazil team. Set play, 80 look more dangerous. The set plays XG as well, 0.17. Placide made 2 save. Allison make 1. Accurate long balls. Brazil made 14 long balls, 48% accuracy. 22 long balls, 54% of accuracy for the Haitian team as well. So only 1 cross for the Brazil team, 2 for Haiti. And let's see how the first half Haiti have 38%, second half they have 44%. So that's a bit of improvement. They touched in the box 5 times in the second half, 4 times in the first half as well. So accurate passes 101 for 80 in the second half. accurate passes in the first half, 140. That a bit surprise one for me right there. Yeah, game started again. Let's see if Brazil can finish the last quarter of this game. Who was that yellow card given to? Was that Jakes? Is that Jakes, a Philadelphia man, playing at home and around home turf? Yes, that's the Philly man playing for the Union. Would have been in our own familiar territories of playing in the NFL stadium. Gene Jakes. Belagrid has been the best player for this Haitian team in this World Cup. He has been everywhere. He's a fit player, a very commit player. He can do every little single thing, for this Asian team. The set piece. He can drive forward. He will track back as well. He will get stuck in tackles. So he's arguably the Asian best player. I think he's one for the future for them. Yeah, I think if he's going to remain at Wolves, it's going to be a magnificent season for him in the championship, as I think he will rip that apart. This ah, It's been a hard watch, on this game. Hard watching the second half. First half was much bit of create a little bit of excitement and a buzz, towards it, but it's hard watching the second half, man. This Brazil team has gone right back to where it was in that first half for versus Morocco. It's not good enough. You just score 3 goals and you just get complacent and then that's it. Hendrick, get the rifleman. And it's the young fella, Hendrick, at the aim of it. Was he on? No. He was offside. Oh, he was way off. Way off from Hendrick. Way off. That was wasteful. He was off for some, probably around a yard or two. It's not good. I would love Hendrick to get a goal, to be honest. I would love him to get a goal. I think he needed a goal in this World Cup. I think the Haiti team is moving around the ball much better. Look a little bit more sharper on the ball. I think the changes have done a lot to the game. And it's Derek Etienne. What a moment for the ex-Red Bull player to be gracing the pitch in the World Cup, coming on for Belgrade. What a game he had. I think he is the best player in this tournament. And it is Mr. Etienne Jr. is on the pitch. What a landmark. A player that has been around for quite some time for the Brazilian team. Oh, oh, that's a very dangerous play. I hope him not hurt the Asian player. That's a very dangerous. Oh, very dangerous. Yeah, but as I was saying, man, it's good to see a player like Etienne Jr. coming on again to play against Brazil, player that's been around the blocks for quite some time now for the Asian team as a young star playing for New York Red Bull. This is moments, where the player will be wanting his career, making the move of not playing for the US, up to play for the Haitian team as well. And years after he making your World Cup debut versus Brazil, this is a long-lived memory that will stay with him for the rest of his life. This is just a joke watching this Brazil team. This Brazil team is a joke. It's a mess watching this Brazilian team. It's a mess, man, watching this Brazil team as how things panning out at this moment. Can't wait for this game to done. Can't wait for this game to be finished, man. Very good try, Isidore. Very good try. It would be good to see the Asian team keep a clean sheet in the second half. Tough watch. This is the longest 5 minutes of the game. This game has been a atrocious second half from the Brazilian team. Oh God, look what Edison is. This game has been dead. People, that is it. This is a hard watch. This take a lot out of my soul to watch this Brazil second half, to be honest. But catch up with you guys in the next game.